Hey, what's up? We're on a crane job for another tree service again. This is Eric Hinneman.
Yes, sir.
From Diamond Tree Experts. We're in Medford and we're going to take out this big ugly nail infested white oak. See it there? Not thrilled about how tight everything is, but we're going to just chip away at it. That's how you eat an elephant, I guess. Maybe when we get further along, we'll get you up there.
I would love that, yeah. Whatever you guys need from me.
Eric wants to do a crane pick, and once we get further into it, we'll try to orchestrate that if the time's going good. If you just want the lowdown, true skinny of me right now and how I feel, whew. Having a hard time right now, YouTube. But I have a mission statement which says that I won't complain. So I'm not allowed to complain according to my own mission statement. I'll talk to you about that in a little bit. But dealing with life the best I know how, being injured and stuff, and knowing I got better than a lot of people, and just trying not to complain. I'll tell you more about it later.
Yeah.
I never finished telling you what I wanted to tell you the other day when I was on that job. It was a busy day. It was probably 14-hour day. We were not wanting to go back there. It's one of those type of things where you don't want to go back to the job because it's a long drive and it'll be kind of silly for the money to go there twice to accomplish the thing that you could have accomplished if you just stayed longer. And I'm really blessed and thankful that I have a crew that will follow that lead when, you know, it's not easy. I mean, if you're working by the hour and you can just work every day and not work any one long killer day, that'd be better for you. But these guys will step up for me when the bank needs the money, and it did. And so it wasn't very chatty that day, but I did shoot some footage for you. I'm going to show you the footage and maybe use this little story time as a soundtrack for that, because, you know, nobody can agree on what's good for music. So what I was saying that day when I wasn't feeling so good, it was my back, and my back has been in a lot of trouble lately. And it's been since January 6th it got injured, and it's been trouble for years, but that was a significantly worse one. And so it's been difficult. But in the time that I've been, so I haven't been able to climb, I haven't been able to sew on any machines, you know, I haven't been able to build harnesses, I haven't been able to do dang near anything. I can stand and run the crane as long as I move now and then and get up and try to wiggle out, try to find some comfort. It's very difficult. You can't stay comfortable sitting very long, so that's a problem. Can't drive. Anyway, here I go. I'm not supposed to complain. And that's what I was telling you that morning, is I have a mission to not complain. And it's such an interesting concept that I've been looking into that I wanted to share it. I feel like it's important.
All right, YouTube, basically, I didn't think that this union here would support the big one and the small one. And I was afraid we were gonna lose the small one. So basically what we did was pre-tension the big one and then kind of tied it where that one would sit naturally the way it was, and then lowered the branch into the rigging, which creates its own tension. as it settles into the sling. So I cut the lower one off first, and then it gently tipped off, and then we've got this other one pretty dang balanced.
People say stuff about how lucky we are that this didn't happen or that didn't happen. I always say, yep, lucky every day. We're like leprechauns. I feel like it's important. So it's from this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a very good book, a bit on the intellectual side. According to me, I'm not very intellectual, so maybe to my caveman brain it's a bit of a challenge. Like, I feel like you could read it many times and still be like, oh wow, you can get more out of it each time. And I'm not even through the whole thing. But in the first couple of habits of the 7 are be proactive. That's number 1. And number 2 is begin with the end in mind, which means before you do a thing, think it through and think, is this gonna be a long-term, is this gonna work long-term towards the values that I have? And it's an important thing, because
so if you're wanting something smoother, then you just tell me, okay? I'll do it. I'll make it smoother. If you don't want to come in this way, I'll make it go that way. If you want to just twist left, I'll go left with it. It makes me feel safe, like I have a $200 vest on.
It's an important thing, because often what our values aren't really what's represented in the moment. Like, some of the greatest people can have a freak out, right? Because life just gets dicey. And so this guy says, make a personal mission statement, the same way somebody entering an oath of office, or like, say, a marriage, you have these I will statements. I will, I'll do this, I'll do that. They're kind of lofty statements, and they're telling yourself and everyone else that this is important, and I need to treat this with the utmost respect. And so the guy's point is, treat your own life with that same amount of respect. You know, the state police car I saw the other day, he's on the side of his car, it says loyalty, integrity, compassion, honor, things like this. These are like missions, like these are core values. And so I was prompted by the book to make my own mission statement. And the way the guy does it, the way he says the best way to get in touch with your core values, I thought was quite interesting, because I heard Reg Coates talk about what he does sometimes when he's going to go do something that's a bit on the danger side, which we regularly do, right? He says he imagines him not coming home and how that will affect the people that love him. And I was like, dang, that's a little bit depressing, dude, when I first heard it. But then I heard it again from this book. The guy says,
I'm so happy to be working with you again. You have all the most smart-ass comments that keep me going in this life.
imagine yourself at your own funeral, and the people that are most important to you are showing up or not showing up, which would be bad. And what will they say about you? How will they talk about you? How will you be remembered? And then when you write down the things that you wish or you hope they would say, those are ultimately your core values. And those core values often are not the result of the heat of the moment things that happen to us when we freak out or whatever. And so I thought it was really cool. He was saying, make your own mission statement for your life. And so I made one, and I was just thinking, y'all could do it too if you wanted. It's amazing. And so let me give you an example of how it might work. This isn't going to be a big dramatic example or anything, but it's just a little example from my life that kind of showed me that a mission statement, if I had one, could actually motivate how I make decisions and end up helping me. So first of all, the mission statement, what I came up with, the hierarchy of it was like, oh, I didn't really follow the book because the book to me is a bit complicated at times. Maybe not for somebody else, like I said, but for me it was. I had to have some hierarchy, so I was like, what's most important to me, I guess, would be my relationship with God. So I will follow God. And then I put, I will not disobey God, because I feel like I need that in there too. It's like saying the same thing kind of twice. Maybe it works good for me to do that. Maybe it doesn't. But then the next one has to do with my family. And then after that, it has to do with church. And then it has to do with goals. Okay. So what I chose for family, the next one down, which would include friends really, because they are family to me, is I said I will not choose distraction over my family. That means my family will get my time when I have the time for them to get. Like, I understand Cats in the Cradle song, the guy's got to go to work. It's a heart-wrenching thing that we have to separate from them, but it's also good that they learn that. You can't give them all your time, but you should be able to give them the time that you have for them if you don't elevate things that shouldn't be taking your time to take their time. Whew, boy, that sounded complicated. But anyway, the mission statement is actually pretty simple for that. It says, I will not choose distraction over my family. And that could be like Instagram on the phone, scrolling, or whatever. You know, don't let it rob from your family time. The next one down is it said, I will remain available for my church. That means they have things that they rely on me, right? And I sometimes want to be a homebody, and I don't really want to hang there. And I want to stay home. I'm tired at the end of the week, but I think it's important. So I put, I will remain available for my church. And then on the last one says, I will work daily to accomplish the goals I've set for myself, you know, things like get the pilot's license, things like that. And when I have achieved those goals, I'll set new ones. So there's my whole mission statement. So how that might work in life, what happened is my friend Chris from RDO Vermeer gave me some tickets to the rodeo, and I was, hey kids, hey wife, after church this weekend, let's go to the rodeo. I'll take you to the rodeo. We've got the tickets are on Vermeer. They bought us tickets. Isn't that really cool? It'll be something different. It'll be fun. We'll go do something as a family. So yeah, everyone's excited. And then on that Friday, the last day of the work week, my back got injured. And it was like really depressing, right? Because your spine is connected to...
What's up, YouTube? I thought I'd show you something that we're doing now. Just up here getting ready to do the cougar cut. And you know it's a cougar cut because there's a bunch of feathers up here where the cougar sat and ate a bird. So that's the piece we're gonna cut. I'm gonna cut it right here, try to stay out of harm's way, and then we'll do this one next, going out there, and then we'll do that one afterwards with a piece of wood.
That look good?
Yeah.
Because your spine is connected to how you feel as a man, basically, or how you feel as a productive person. Let me say it that way. It's tied to your economy. It's tied to so many things. It's tied to how much you value yourself. It's a brutal one to, it's a rough place to get struck. That's why when they say that guy's spineless, you know, that's quite an insult. So my back went out. My back got injured. And I moped big time. And I had a hard time the morning before church, because now I'm gonna drag myself into this long day, right? I'm gonna go to church. I'm gonna sit, which is one of the hardest things for me to do. You can see even now I'm like holding this perfect posture because it's mandatory for me to not bend forward. So I'm like, I don't want to go to church and make small talk after sitting for an hour, and then after that go to some bleachers and watch a rodeo, you know, with a bunch of noise and stuff. I was just like, and I was trying to get my brain around letting down my family and saying, well, sorry, we can't go, because I know they'll understand, right? But then I remembered the mission statement I wrote, and in the order of the day, it was, I will remain available for my church. And I was like, oh no, now I'm going to have to like follow this creed. And then it said, I will not choose distraction over my family. And I thought, this pain is quite a distraction. Some people would even argue that you do the right thing to get to stay off it. But I had read this book that had said, try to keep moving as much as you can. And so I felt like it was speaking to me, like, get off your butt a little bit. And so long story short, the mission statement, I reflected on it, and I went to church, and then I took my family to the rodeo, and I did not die, and it worked out. And I have showed some very small improvement even ever since then by being careful. But that's how like the mission statement kind of kicked a butt for me, and it could for you too, for whatever big or little things happen. Another example, more of a bigger dramatic example, I remember I was the first guy on scene at a motorcycle wreck. So I'm coming up behind a car, a minivan, a Lexus, stopped in the middle of the road, and there's endless clear traffic in both directions. There's no reason for this lady to be stopped in the middle of the road. And she's sitting there with her blinker on, but there's no one coming. There's a motorcycle way in the distance. And so I'm like, what is she doing? I figure she's got to be on her phone. She's just near home. She's got one more turn. She got distracted by her phone. And I was thinking, this lady, I hope she doesn't turn in front of this guy. Sure enough, she waits there until there's no possible chance the guy has to not crash into her, and then she turns in front of him and just wipes him out at highway speed. And he had a girl with him, and they flew over our truck and landed on the highway, and it was this big bloody nasty scene. And I was there trying to comfort him, and when he woke up, and the girl they were still breathing, but it was a mess. And eventually a policeman shows up, and this guy was the just class act. I mean, he was the classic, this is what I've trained for type of guy. I mean, he didn't miss a beat. He knew right away, okay, it was like triage. I was able to tell him they're still alive, they're breathing. And so he went straight to, ambulance ain't gonna cut it. We're in kind of a remote place. He has to get a helicopter in there. And in order to do that, he has been trained in skilled ways somehow to figure out the best field and the best way to get the people from where they are at on the highway, because they were really bad off. Okay, I won't go into it, but it was pretty bad, and they had to get him from there to a helicopter, and so he had to get the helicopter in there, and then after that, he was straight to taking statements of everybody, the neighbors, myself being the first person there, my wife was with me and stuff, and so he just systematically went down this list. He was just absolutely made for this moment. He was amazing.
Okay, so now just terminate that.
Right here?
Yeah, right where it's at. Take like whatever you got to do to just. Do you need him to cable down a little?
No, I got it.
Okay.
If I come down?
I'd maybe go a little, you can go a little more. I think it's all right. It's probably deep enough on the compression side, I'd say.
Okay.
What I would do is I would come into the back and close up this side.
Okay.
And then the last bit that you cut off will be on the far side of the V towards him, so that maybe we can get it to twist a little towards him.
Okay.
Possibly.
Sounds good.
The V always kind of holds it in place, but you can still get a little movement out of it. Yeah, you almost gotta hold, like baby it back a little bit because
Yeah.
it likes to bite.
That looks pretty good.
I think so. Yeah.
It's free.
Okay, says it's free.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Dude, that's so crazy.
It's different.
To watch that thing just leave, you're like,
Yeah. Nice job, man.
thank you. Thanks for letting me do it.
Of course.
Woo. Didn't get it perfect, but close.
Yeah.
Yeah, your saw's got a sweet spot for sure. You
Yeah.
gotta find it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thing rips though.
Oh, dude.
Like when you're cutting brush, it's
Dude, it's sweet. Yeah, it's what it's 201, huh?
201, yeah. Open the exhaust up.
He was amazing. And I feel like he lived up to the mission statement on his car. Like, by the way, habit 3, which I didn't mention yet, has a lot to do with the time that you spend in the moment, where you take your values and put them to work in the day-to-day thing. It's habit 3 is put first things first. So you take your value, your broad-based values that you've said, this is who I am, this is what I believe, and then you apply that to individual situations that come. And this guy just lived out that dedication, honor, compassion, integrity. He was amazing. He was such a great example. And I'm really just saying all this because my long-term, I call them my diehard followers, my diehard subscribers. I don't like the word follower. It makes me feel a little creepy. But my diehard subscribers, I feel like there's a real strong moral fiber with this crowd. I really like them. I really like the comment sections. And I feel like you might like this. You might try to go to that uncomfortable place where you imagine your own funeral. I know that's kind of a morbid thing to say, but try to imagine what your most basic values are and then write them down. I will, in the hierarchy that you think's important, from the religious perspective that you think is important. Values are values. Values are laws. You can't break them. They break you if you go against them. So find out some core values, write them down for yourself, and then put them into action in the day-to-day of your life. And then get back to me and tell me what you think. Maybe that helps you. I'm having fun with it, if that's the right way to say it. That's probably the wrong way to say it. I'm being impacted by it, and I thought it was worth sharing. And so instead of music for this video, this is what you got. Thanks for watching.
I think I'll do a little shelf. Yeah. Oh boy. I guess. That's all I had to say about that. It's dialed. Pretty beautiful. Do you remember that game about the doctor, like Don't Wake Daddy or whatever it was, and you have to like, you have to do things like really carefully or whatever, and then if you're not careful enough, the dad is laying in bed and he goes, doing, and wakes up. What did you say? There's something really important?
It's a chicken strip. Don't drop it.
Thanks, August. This is a nice little chicken strip.
Done such a good job. I'm gonna give you 2.
Okay.
2 chicken strips.
It's gonna help me do this removal better. I don't think. It's gonna give me a lot of energy. I was gonna try to like make it look like I was gonna not make it.
Get a little late.
It's water junk. pretty close here. I think we've got one more pick after this. And it's been a good day. Everything's been super smooth. Eric here with Diamond Food Service. He's got his trailer here. We're gonna set this thing. I'll help you with the camera.
Howdy.
Fatty?
Howdy.
Fatty?
Fatty? Certified?
That's a fat certified.
That is. That's stamped.
A certified big butt. This little crane does big work.
It's all the way free?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the work. We've been having a good time today.
Thank you. I know Eric has been.
I'm starting to feel like it's been a day, that's for sure, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
all right, it's moving now.
You guys have business cards that
I don't have any business cards on us. If you had a camera phone, you could take a picture of the side of the truck.
Oh, you know what? I've got the invoice on my phone, so I'll just use that. I can do that. That's a good idea.
Okay, is it the one I sent?
Yeah.
Eric?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I thought it's something that you guys might actually want to hear. If we should go see what Jeff has to say about this. Hey, Jeff Schroeder.
What's up?
Just want to see what you had to say about this.
Pretty easy job.
Yeah, because today definitely isn't harder than
Kind of like lethargic all day. I was like,
I can see that. chugging and lurching.
let's put that other log over here.
I totally forgot to tell you the last part, which was I won't complain, I will inspire. So that basically means, I know it's a tall order, but it basically means if I'm going to use my speech to do something, I'm going to try not to use it for complaining and instead use it to inspire people. And that was the last part of the mission statement. And it's key because it was what I was talking about at the beginning when I was saying I won't complain. So I would encourage you to make one. Make your own mission statement and try it out and get back to me in the comment section. Let me know if, use mine if you want, if it's good enough for you. Make your own, you know what your values are. And get back to me. Don't call me, but I'll chat in the comment section. The reason I say don't call me is because the telephone has a way of, when it rings, of looking like urgent, but things that, it's another thing from the book, things that appear urgent are not necessarily rooted in your value system in importance. For example, when the phone rings, you could be sitting down to dinner with your family or something and the phone rings and it just has this way of seeming like, I've got to get that. It could be a scam call or whatever, but it seems like, your values of I will spend time, I will not be distracted by other things from my family, go right out the window when the phone rings and you suddenly gotta pick that thing up. It's better to just turn it off maybe. But anyway, what I'm saying is I do better to relate to my subscribers through the comment section. I can't answer everyone, but I definitely read almost everything. And I have a bond with the people who watch these videos. Because if you'll sit through something like this, then you're kind of on the same page with me, I think. So yeah, inspire, don't complain. That's what I'm going to try and do.
Yeah, it's crazy the kind of work you can do with the crane. It's like,
I mean, that would take so long to cut all this up so you can move it by
Whole time I was up there, I was like thinking about what it would take to like,
Without the crane?
you know,
Yeah.
rig it all out. And
I've toyed around with the idea a few times, and I'm just like, dude, it's not even close to worth it.
you know, I don't think it would have been horrible for the climber, because I think it would have been like, nice, I got like one hell of a project, you know, as a thinker. But for the guys on the ground, it would be so,
Dropping everything into that tiny little
it would be so key. They'd be frustrated.
We got another guy blocked.
Right.
Probably move out of the street.
Yeah.
That's this guy here too. All right, so we got Eric with Diamond Tree Service, located in Medford, Oregon, right?
Yep.
He called us out to help him with this removal here, so that we could use the crane and stuff and get the stuff out without having to do a bunch of rigging and
Yeah.
banging it around. I'm sure he could have done it without us, but the crane speeds things up.
I wouldn't have wanted
Big
to do
time.
it without you. That's for
I
sure.
know.
Yeah. for
So, what do you think about the process? Do you think it went as you thought it would?
Yeah, no, it went phenomenal. I was shocked at how big of pieces you were able to take with relative ease. I mean, we didn't even look like you guys were getting close to maxing that thing out. So,
No.
it was awesome.
And there was times, you know, we were talking about capacity, and you know, we were like, oh yeah, we're kind of getting up there with some of the capacity, but yeah, it was all nice and safe. Nothing inverted on us, nothing
Yeah.
flipped, you know, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this is for your mother-in-law.
Yep, mother-in-law. We had a big one, probably a good 12-inch, come through her ceiling about a year and a half ago while she was sleeping over her bed. So
Yeah,
ever since then, it just drove me nuts. I wanted to get it out. But
Yeah, I bet.
yeah,
Yeah, so this tree, I don't know if you guys could really see too much, but there was a lot of compromised sections due to extreme amounts of mistletoe and stuff. A lot of the mistletoe I had seen had actually grown, aged out, killed the branch from where the mistletoe was out, and then died itself, and it just looked like some scrubby little, you know, shrub thing there. So, so if people want to get a hold of you for tree work in Medford, how do they get a hold of you?
you can look us up on Facebook or Instagram, just Diamond Tree Experts. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Google, we're also on Google, so
Perfect.
hit us up.
You guys do all the removals, pruning.
Yeah,
Mistletoe
we do
removal.
everything. We do everything from mistletoe to trimming to fire mitigation, all that stuff. So
Sweet. Well, yeah, maybe if you're ever in the Grants Pass area or something, you know, and you're like, hey, I'm looking to cut some trees.
heck yeah, dude.
You're like, yeah, we got a big job coming up, and we
That'd be
could
sweet.
use another climber.
I'd love it, man. That was great.
It'd be a blast. So, well, hey, man. Thank you for all the work.
Appreciate it. Nice work up there yourself.
Yeah,
man.
it was nice working
That
with
was
you.
Yep.
And oh yeah, real quick, what was your first impression on your first crane pick?
Oh,
How did that
man.
feel?
I mean, it was a decent sized top that we picked. I mean, for me, and watching it, I'm used to them all, you know, just come crashing down and catch on a rope or just free fall.
Yeah.
And this one just went up and away from me, and it was like,
Yeah, it's weird when you hear all the popping and stuff. You're like, usually when you get to that point of popping, there's big action and it's going, you know.
There it
So
goes, yeah.
when this popping happens, you start, little things are going through your mind, like, oh, is it butt heavy enough? Is it, you know, is there too much weight to the side and the whole thing's gonna start turning, you know? But
I did when it was going and it popped. I was like, oh, here we go, it's going. And I was like, oh, I didn't do anything. It just sat there. So
yeah, I've had some of those ones on like the Cougar cuts where, you know, where you're like straddling the thing, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to escape, no good tie-in or nothing. I've had big ones where I was cutting and it's just like, wow, it just blasts my saw out of the cut, you know, and it's just, it makes you think, you know.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, that's awesome.
but I learned from those a little bit too, so
Oh yeah.
getting a little
Get
more.
yourself in a good spot for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
No, man, it was great. I had a blast.
Yeah, thanks
I
for the
kept saying I was standing in the backyard watching one go, and I'm like, man, I need a crane. That's all I kept
Hey,
thinking.
just go get one.
Yeah, just go get one real quick. No big deal.
Yeah. It reminds me of this guy, Keith Kalfas. You ever seen Keith Kalfas on YouTube?
No. I'll
Yeah,
look him
he's
up.
talking about how people just say, you know, oh, you don't have a bucket truck? Why don't you go buy a bucket truck?
Just go buy one.
You know, and it's like, it's just not that simple, you know? You gotta
Right.
work day in and day out to
dude, yeah.
move into the next little steps, you
Maybe
know,
don't
so.
take off yet.
Okay.
Might need your help with something.
Oh, yeah.
With what?
Definitely need your help.
With what?
We're gonna need
Guess. What
Dude,
guess what didn't get
I'll
loaded?
get- yeah.
I already did all my work for the day. Oh, the bucket?
Yeah. Oh, the bucket?
I'd get out of here as fast as you can. All right, thanks for watching, YouTube. It was a really good day. We had a blast. Got to work with some cool folks. Got to have some new experiences. We got August back in the field for the day, which was super exciting. It's always fun working with that guy. And we'll see you on the next one.